Hi there, it's Joe Curtis here, and I've got Abigail Ruth, my business partner, with me as well.
Hi, everyone.
And yeah, we're just discussing today some of the misconceptions or some of the things that people struggle with and why they struggle in the network marketing or internet marketing industry. And I touched on one before, which is people go after the warm market. But the second reason, I believe, is people try and be the salesman. People try to convince people to join. And instead of presenting, which is what we are, we're not in the convincing business, we're in the sifting business. And, the quicker you understand that, the less struggles you're going to have. Because if you do, selling can work. If you do sell someone and you do a good job, they're probably going to join. But if they haven't sold themselves on the idea, what's going to happen the next month? Well, they're going to quit because they didn't convince themselves to join in the first place. You just sort of convinced them, and they probably join just to either shut you up or, to please you. Or
Yeah, because they got caught up in the hype of what you were saying or something. That's it. Never try and sell people. Just simply what we do with this is we share the opportunity. We just expose it to as many people as possible. We simply share it with them and then follow up with them afterwards in case they've got any questions or something. But we never try and sell it.
Yeah, we never, ever, ever try and sell it, because you don't want to be a salesman and someone who joins against their will is going to be of the same opinion still. So you never want to sell someone or convince them, or if they say no, you just want to let them go and expose it to another person. You don't want to try and convince them, like, why not.
That's it. I mean, just for example, in the past, I was talking to, and this was actually in another business a while back. In the past, I was talking to someone who basically was saying to me, "Oh, no one wants to look at my page. No one wants to join, etc." So I asked what they're saying to people, and they were basically telling people, you must join, please, you must join this business. And I mean, this was going back last year, and they were really trying to push it. And straight away, it was very clear that that's what the problem was. You're not going to get anywhere if you do that with people. You've got to just simply
there's certain words you never want to use, and one of them is please.
Yeah.
You don't want to be too hypey. You don't want to be like, you got to join today because it's the best thing since sliced bread. You don't want to be like that. All you want to do is say, if someone says, yeah, they're happy to take a look at it, then you can just send them the link and let them go through it and let them convince themselves on it. So what we do is, we will speak to people every day on sites like Facebook. That's one of our methods. And what we'll do is we'll ask people on our friends list, we'll give them a little bit of information, not a whole paragraph, because you never want to do that. Just keep it short. Less is more. We'll just give them a little bit about what it is, and we'll say, is this something you might be interested in taking a look at? And if they say no, that's fine. Have a great day. If they say, yeah, sure, I'll take a look at it, then we just say, okay, cool. You can check it out at 10bucksbiz.com. Now, someone will land on this page, and if they like what they see and they're interested, they're going to put in their email address here. They're going to click on Get Instant Access. They go to Opt In, and they're going to come to this page. Now, this page here is going to do all the explaining. It's going to do all the so-called convincing, even though it's not really convincing. It's just sort of exposing people to the business. We explain exactly how it all works, and then people can make their own mind up, and that's what you want. That's the sort of the takeaway from this video is use the tools to do the selling. All you have to do then is expose it to a lot of people. And I found that 8% of people who land on my page that I just showed you and they put in their email address, they then join the business. And it's a game of numbers. It's a game of exposing it to a lot of people and letting the cards fall where they may, and letting people convince themselves and they're much more likely to stick at it as well if they convince themselves, and then they see the opportunity, they see the potential, and they start building it because they've seen how great it is. That's going to be a lot more effective than you trying to persuade or convince or hard sell someone, and they
Right.
join, but they join because just to please you, just to shut you up, and they're not going to be the kind of person you want. They're not going to be the kind of person who's going to stick at it and see it for themselves and grow the business like you want. So I think that's the main takeaway, is just to remember to present, not to sell.
Right.
Because
Can I just add on that?
Yeah.
Two things. Point number one, and we did another video about this actually earlier. Target people who are already interested in this kind of industry, for starters, and secondly, just share it with as many people like that as possible. And if you consistently do those two things day in, day out, you're going to really get some traction, and you're going to start and have a team growing pretty fast.
I think that's it's a lot easier to sign up someone who's already in the industry, who's already had some success. They know this kind of thing works. You're going to have a lot less skepticism than someone who's never been in this kind of thing. They've always been in a job. They're not business oriented, that kind of thing. It's going to be a lot harder for you to try and convince that. And then you are probably going to have to convince that person because they're not going to see it for themselves. So just don't go down that route. Just stick to exposing the business to people who have the same mindset as you, who are interested in making money online, who are interested in working from home.
Yeah, even if they've got no experience at all, and they're someone who's never done anything like this before, they've been in a day job their whole life. If they're interested in this kind of industry, then that's great. We'll be able to teach them everything they need to know inside the back office. They're going to learn exactly how to do it and how to do it right. So yeah, I mean, it's great for people with no experience as well. It's great for complete newbies into this. I mean, we all those of us in this industry, for every single one of us, there was that first day, that first interest in getting involved in this industry. And now I think many of us have been involved quite a long time. But
I think the last point to wrap up, and I'll do another video on this, going into more detail, but another great point to share with you guys on this video is, don't be so hung up on one person. If someone says no or they're not interested, don't let that affect your day. Because you are going to have people who don't see the potential, and that's to be expected. You don't want to let that affect you. You don't want to rely on just one person. Like, I know some people will share it with one person, then they'll hope that person joins, which is not what you want. So sorry about my phone ringing here. But just don't rely on one. Just don't rely on one person. Just get it. It's a numbers game. The more people you expose it to, the more people who are going to see it for themselves. Those that see it for themselves are more likely to be the ones who build a team and give you the residual income that you're looking for. So that's the takeaway from this video. I will put a link in the description to check out the system that we're promoting, and it's working well for us and the team. And I'll also put the links to connect with us on Facebook. So feel free to do that if you want to reach out or you've got any questions, that kind of thing. And have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.
Bye, everyone.